What's going on, everybody? I'm Johnny Martinez, and you are plugged in to the Social Plug Podcast, powered by Social Plug Media. And we are on the Tuesday live edition here at Vicky's Hinterhof.
Yes.
Downtown San Antonio, not San Antonio, San Antonio Street.
San Antonio
New
Street.
Braunfels, right here. We're the MB champs in New Braunfels on San Antonio Street. A lot of cool things going on, man. A lot of hot topics to talk about. I got none other than MC Jesse E to my right.
Ruto.
What up? What up?
Yep. And I'll let you introduce that man right there.
Look at that baby. Hey, look at this baby face, bro.
Hey, to my right, your left, it's my cousin DJ Jerry.
G-Unit.
Yes. Not to be confused
Is that
with
what we're
Diddy.
doing today?
And then we got the man, the myth, the legend, the best producer in the studio today,
That's right.
J-Rock.
Jay
What up,
Rizzy.
man? What's up, y'all? Y'all doing all right?
He's got his championship belts behind him
Yeah,
because
I'm
he is a
trying, man.
champion.
Heck yeah, man. We can hear the claps. They can't yet. But
Hey,
we can hear.
he's got the belts and the chain. Look at the chain, bro.
Oh, yeah,
Look
bro.
at that.
Bro, it is
That-
WrestleMania weekend.
Oh,
week,
yeah,
bro.
brother.
Where'd you steal that chain from, J-Rock?
The Rock.
The
La
pulga.
pulga, yeah. La piedra. How do you say the Rock in
Over at
Spanish? La
Freddy's
piedra,
Freddy's
right?
Pawn Shop.
Instead of the regular Rock, his name was actually La Piedra.
The perdita. No, that's where everybody goes swimming at Atlanta Park.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what
The
it said?
perdita. Yeah.
Piedrita.
It's a little rock in the wading pool.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
Hey, man, I'm excited to be back in the studio, guys. Man, it's been a while since we all kind of been doing our thing, and feels good to be back in the mix, bro. That's for damn sure.
Hey, the 4J's back in effect, baby.
Hell yeah.
Right here.
4Gs. Is it the 4? How was it
Jeff
again?
Davis,
J's,
the
dude.
Force.
4.
You know who to
So
call.
dumb,
Yeah.
bro.
The four Jotas.
The 4. That's,
Speaking Spanish, bro.
We're the Force something, man.
that's for damn sure, man. So what's going on, guys? What's been going like up in the recent build of y'all's DJ stuff, bro? Y'all been killing it lately. St. Patrick's Day, all that good stuff.
Man, everything's been coming through, bro. I mean, not only that, I was talking to Jerry. I was like, dude, we got a lot of calls coming in for events after events, and man, the calendar is filling up. I think him and I both already have maybe 10 events booked on 2025 already. So how cool is that?
Heck
Hey,
yeah,
we've been
man.
getting around, bro. We've been getting around. So
Wow.
I've done that for a while now, but now as a DJ, we're getting out there. So hey, but I actually think March might have been one of our busiest months, or actually what I've seen.
Mhm.
The start of the year was probably our busiest it has been compared to the last few years. So, I mean, that's a crazy thing to me, bro. People are still spending money on being entertained. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are talking about it's tight, but man, we've been doing all kinds of events, right? St. Patty's Day was super fun down at Downtown Social. Got a number of big events coming up. 420 party that's going to be
Yeah.
happening in a few
Yeah.
weeks. So.
420 party is going to be huge, man. So we're pumped for that. And also, I'm actually going to be traveling a lot as well. I get to go to Chicago, Montana.
Montana, what the heck you doing in Montana?
Yeah,
Joe
man,
Montana.
I got
Joe
hired for a
Montana.
wedding in Montana, man.
Yellowstone.
How do they even know your ass out there? How does it something like
Dude.
that?
It's a long story, but let's just
Hey,
say I'm
Jesse
going to
got
Montana.
hoes in different area codes.
Hey,
Sheesh. Let's just say Grinder
yeah.
has a big reach. bro.
Yeah.
We
they're
don't-
not hiring you to be the gardener or cutting grass or something?
I don't know, but it's going to be a lot of logistics, right?
He's like, I got a gig out there. We
Yeah.
taking the riding lawnmower or the pushing? Which one?
We have to
Right.
figure out equipment,
Oh, my
rental, if I'm going to fly up there, drive. And man, it's just a bunch of moving parts. But either way, I'll be in Montana. So how
Hell
cool is
yeah.
that? I'm
That's
excited.
pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, man. But we're excited, dude. It's very, very, very cool. And the cool thing is we get to have fun. You know, it is taxing on the body. Don't get me twisted and think it's all fun, because
We won't
it's a
get you
lot of setup.
twisted. We won't
Boom.
get you twisted.
It's
Well,
a lot of setup. a lot
Hey,
of breakdown.
the best part is seeing all the crazy shit that happens on stage. So I won't say any names, but this past weekend I was DJing for a party, and one of the biggest BBLs, bro, that's rocked the stage. I was like, oh,
I saw that too.
man.
So she was about to leave for the army, right? And she was having a party. She had all her family around, but that was a big BBL. And for
Damn.
those that don't know what a BBL is, J-Rock, you know what a BBL is?
I don't know the wording for it, like exactly.
Is that a big booty lift?
booty lift?
Or is that a Brazilian
butt
boot
lift.
Yes.
okay.
Brazilian butt lift.
Butt
I
lift.
was like, wait, what? I don't know which one it was.
Hey,
I already got a big booty. I
J-Rock
have to do
don't
all
know
that.
because J-Rock's is all
Don't do that
natural.
crap, bro.
J-Rock
I'm all
don't need
natural.
that.
J-Rock got the
Tortilla,
natural BBL.
Little, fucking sandwiches and Whataburger. You know what I mean?
J-Rock's
That's what
got
that ass
the
comes
carne
from.
guisada in those thighs, man.
What the hell?
Hey, but I'll tell you, seriously though, man, we see some wild stuff that I know people are like, I did not expect that in New Braunfels, Texas.
Yeah, true
That's
that.
for
Yeah.
sure. So, but we know how to have some fun.
How do you know? Hey, how can you tell if it's a
So.
BBL or not?
It doesn't move. It doesn't
It
move.
just stays still.
It's rock solid.
It just stays still.
We should. If you're watching, let us know. How do you know the difference between a BBL and a
Yeah.
non-BBL?
Yeah.
So,
So that's a trend now. So ladies, or if you, whoever knows about BBLs,
Well, watch it there, Jay.
do
Watch
we
it, Johnny. Watch
do
it, Johnny.
ladies
don't
do
discriminate.
BBLs for men or for other ladies? Because you got you got Kim K.
Oh, man,
I know
that's a
she
tough
has
one.
a BBL,
Yeah.
right? And all these other rappers and entertainers have the BBLs, but who do you do it for?
Hey,
the
so
men or the ladies?
you asked that question. Is that their version of measuring dicks? Is that how they put it out
it
there?
could be.
That could
Measuring
be a good way
ass.
of that, right?
I think it's just about investment in your own damn body. That's what I heard a girl the other day talking about. Like I pay my own bills. I got 6 figures
I got my
invested into
own
my
car.
body.
I got my
And
own.
then the other guy was like, "What do you mean 6 figures?" She's like, "I got the eyebrows stitched in." She's like, "I got breast implants augmented 3 times," and she was like going off and bragging about it. You know, I can tell you this, ladies, us guys, we don't give a damn about no damn eyelashes and eyebrows. As long as you look good and you're happy, that's what makes us happy. I think. I don't think we go out and be like, "Oh damn, did you see that girl's eyelashes?"
Hey,
Man, those eyelashes were on fire.
Angela Dick said on here. She said BBL thighs don't match.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yes,
there you go.
Sometimes it looks like a small tree holding up these big old branches. Like, dude, what the hell?
Yes.
I don't know another way to explain
At
it.
least J-Rock has the thighs to match that culo right there.
Oh yeah, I got it all to match.
Shake
bro.
the
I mean,
culo.
That's rough, bro. Hey, but like you said, right? You can definitely tell when you're like, man, that is not proportionate.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, those thighs do not go with that ass. So.
Angelica said it's for
That's funny.
ourselves. Pretty
Yeah.
privilege.
There you
Pretty
go. Okay,
privileged.
so that's
Okay.
one answer.
One vote right
Survey
there.
says if that's the only survey we got, then
Yes.
it's for other ladies. Because it's kind of a leverage thing, right? I mean, you go out, ladies that have the biggest ass kind of get out there on the dance floor and they're
Yeah.
dancing, doing their thing, and all the other women are looking like, oh, look at that bitch over there.
Yeah.
Look at
Dude, I think us fellas, we should flip the script. Like instead of like doing that, we should like who has the biggest sponsor? Like
The
you know
big
what I mean?
sponsor.
Who has
Ah,
the biggest
the big
sponsor? Let's just
sponsor.
flip it.
You
I'll
can
have-
check that in Seguin, maybe.
I have the bigger chance if we're gonna play that game.
There you go.
Or the south side of
Hey,
San Antonio.
T Baby on here. She said, shout out to Tina, my girl here. She
Yes.
said, shoot, my lashes are for me. So
There you
There
go.
you
See,
go.
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking
Okay.
about. Us guys, like
hey,
we
the
don't care.
fake lashes is a big deal.
Yeah,
now,
it's a
man.
big business,
It's
man.
a big thing. So for sure.
I've seen that. I've even seen people get their I think eyebrows, if I'm not mistaken, like tattooed in.
Mm-hmm.
Permanent ink,
Permanent
right?
stuff. Yeah.
The Sharpie. They use the Sharpie.
Oh, remember those glamour
Someone
shots
used
back
the
in the day, the
Sharpie?
hood rat pictures from the
You see
Pulaga?
someone go to the art, like an art class, and you're like, "Oh, I never know you did art." I was like, "No, I'm just trying to do the Sharpie." You know?
Yeah.
J-Rock, did you ever date one of those girls that have the Aquanet and the
Awkward.
the Sharpie? The
Something like
Aquanet was that old
Aquanet.
school hairspray, and, spray it all over their hair, and then
Yeah.
it looks like some kind of wave or something.
Just a lunch lady with that other net on. That's
Nah,
all.
man,
Oh, no, that's a
hey,
hairnet.
That was a shit back in the day, man.
What, the Aquanet?
Oh yeah, the high
What is
hair,
that?
the you remember
Oh,
those,
like lifting the hair up. Like,
remember that everybody used to take those pictures with the crazy backdrop? It was like the glamour shots, but for hood rats.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Oh
Hey,
man.
I took those picures, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You were a hood rat
With my
for sure.
frosted tips.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, is this the first time we've ever mentioned hood rats on the podcast?
Maybe.
Wait,
Other than
Hey.
other than Miguel, his
Johnny.
hood rat snacks.
Probably not the first or the
Or the
last.
last.
If anybody can tell us where that reference is from,
Yes.
you might win a free song over Downtown
There you
Social.
go. Free
from
request.
Request.
Free request.
Free
Yeah.
request. There you
Free
go.
request.
So who
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Man, it's been good.
So what other
damn
kind
year.
of crazy shit out in the world happening right now? I mean, I think BBL is the least of the craziness.
The
Dude,
least.
going on
so
right now.
there is these conjoined twins,
Mhm.
Abby
yeah.
and
Forgot about
Brittany Hansel.
Yes.
I think that's her name. We did research before the podcast. So they married this Army veteran.
Mhm.
So it was only Abby. It was the left-sided twin
Oh wow.
that married this guy. All right.
Damn.
And so the sister Brittany is a side chick.
Damn.
Right. Right.
Like legit
no,
side
no,
chick.
no pun intended.
Yeah.
right?
no.
So they're conjoined, and he married these two, or married one of them.
Yeah.
So how the hell does that work, man?
All I gotta say is these conjoined twins got a boo, and I'm still single out here. What's going on with that?
So somebody did some research and said that the one on the right, while there's things going on, some passion and stuff going on with the two married ones, the one on the right listens to podcasts and reads true crime mysteries.
Wow.
How the hell does that happen, man?
I don't know, man. I saw on TikTok that there's another set of conjoined twins, and they keep getting tagged in it. And then she was going out. She's like, "Why the hell do y'all keep tagging us in this?" Did y'all see that?
No, she was getting she was getting mad because she was getting
It's another
tagged.
set of conjoined twins that keep getting tagged in these people's posts. She's like, "We have nothing to do with that." She's like, "Why do you keep tagging us?" But man, that is a crazy ass story, and not only that, it's going viral all over, man.
Yeah.
I wonder if they feel the same. Like, if you punch them in the left arm, do they both feel it? Like, what's...
So that's my question.
Yeah,
and
like...
I don't know if this is true or not, but there was some questions and answers on one of their social media sites that, yes, I have sex with my husband and these kind of things happen. My sister's not involved. And I'm like, how does that happen? Oof. I mean, you're connected. So,
man, I don't know.
Wait, she's saying that they're not involved? Like,
yes.
Well, they're only
what?
the sister's not involved with
like
anything.
the sister's like not interacting.
Right,
Yes.
not interacting.
She's not engaging.
What is she doing?
But
Reading a
who knows?
book?
I mean, you know, how old are they? How old are they?
Probably 30s.
I looked. Producer needs to look that up, but fact check so we can. But
What
because
was
I
it
got to
again? How
think,
old are
how
they?
old are they?
Yeah.
But I got to think about like they've been going their entire life, probably with those kind of boundaries, right? Like, hey, okay, you've got something going on. I'm distracting myself doing something differently. I guess it's no different in that setting, but that is crazy to think about.
What was her name again?
Abby and Brittany Hansel.
Yeah, just type in conjoined twins being married.
How old are the conjoined twins?
Sheesh.
I mean, I
Hansel
don't know
twins.
how many others are going to pop
They're
up on
34.
Google.
They're
34 years old.
Yeah,
34.
years old.
Yeah.
I was 34 last year.
So would you be able to marry conjoined twins, Jesse?
So I can't even marry a single person. My mom's like, Miko, what's wrong with you? Nobody loves you.
I mean, so there are some guys that look at it, hey, 2 for 1,
no,
or maybe double trouble.
no.
I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it. All right, what are my friends going to think about this?
So I'm curious, is he actually like legally just marrying one of them?
Yeah,
I mean,
because
like,
so there's one body, 2 heads. So are they one person, 2 people? Or there's 2 brains.
Yeah, is that too? What if she wants to get married with somebody else? How does that work?
Oh,
that's a good
You know
one.
what I'm saying? Like, what if she wants to get married
What
with
if
somebody
she
else?
wants? Sheesh. Well,
That
I guess
would suck.
the other one's gonna be looking up the Social Plug Media podcast as well.
So then how does that one girl's husband feel about it if another guy wants to marry?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
Dude, I feel like I'm in South Florida right now.
That, or you're gonna have to move to Utah or something.
No, that's true too. It's kind of weird, man. It's crazy, but hey, if they love, that's all that matters at the end of the day, right?
That's
Look
true.
at that.
man.
Look at
That's
that.
true.
Jesse coming out. He's a voice of reason.
Yes.
If they love each other, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
for the
man.
G. And then you got us going down the rabbit hole, thinking about all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then Jerry won't even answer anything.
He's the
just over here.
whisperer, bro. Like,
Look.
Jesse's the Cupid over here.
Somebody told me a long time ago, like, what do you think about the Miss Universe contest? Whenever they asked her, how do you feel about same-sex marriage? And she made this answer, and then, all of the, gay community got upset with her answer because she said she feels like a man should marry a woman, blah, blah, blah. If they would have asked me that question, I would have said, hey, love has no gender. It's a feeling. And just leave it at that.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But love trumps all, man. So I saw that today. Love
Let's
trumps
see how
all.
that's
So
working out for you.
I'm gonna stick with that. Yes.
See how
Nobody
that's
loves my
working out.
ass. But no, I can't even marry a single person, much less 2 of them. So, sheesh.
Hey, but Jess, we're cousins, so I just don't think that's happening, bro. Because we're like related to every single person in New Braunfels.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, shit, you can't even date around here, bro.
You can't, man. You
Yeah,
can't. You
it's
cannot
tough.
date in New Braunfels. That's for shizzle. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey,
And then we
So-
don't got time to go anywhere. So then where else do we go?
Yeah.
I want that single bad boy boat too as well.
Hey,
man.
shout out
So-
to some of the people that are watching: Megan Luchek, Christine Martinez. So, feel free, ladies. I would love to get
Yeah.
y'all's perspective. Chime in on
Yeah,
this.
Chime in.
Right, talking about the
Yeah.
conjoined twins and holy matrimony. So,
And don't be afraid to comment on the BBLs as well. So we
Yeah.
talked about BBLs, conjoined twins. How is that dynamic? Behind closed doors, in front of people. What are people, thinking? Because everybody's thinking, no matter how religious you are or what, you're
Yeah.
thinking, how
Yeah.
in the heck is that
Yeah.
dynamic?
Phew. That's well. Speaking behind closed doors, another topic we should talk about is the whole Diddy situation and the whole Diddy debacle.
Oh,
Man.
I thought you were
Oh,
going to come
yeah.
out of the closet or something.
No.
You said behind closed doors.
At
Okay.
this point, I need
was
all
like,
the
here's the
options I
big
can get.
announcement.
Yes.
It's finally coming out.
So the P Diddy,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, this shit's
what's
crazy,
going on?
bro.
So J Rock is our researcher, and he's
Yeah.
our culture guy. He knows all about
Pop
social
culture.
pop
Yeah.
culture.
There
Yes.
you go.
What's going on with P Diddy, J Rock?
Well, okay, so there's a lot of speculation that's been happening about P. Diddy for a good while now, from whether it's whether
That
you
diddler.
worked for him, worked with him, or, you know, just in the industry of partying with him. So this thing of like him having these big parties, having celebrities there, and apparently when these parties get crazy, people tend to leave certain people and they kind of feel people out and they let them in, meaning like they let them in kind of the further of the after party in a way. So a lot of these actors and stuff are being put on the spotlight now that you know, they were part of those parties. They could be talking about like whether it was younger kids or whether it was young artists, actors, things like that, that were trying to get in the business. And P Diddy was taking advantage of these people. And there's speculation for years, but we would joke about it, you know, here and there. But now it's kind of got out there. So Cassie, who was an artist, sued him.
That was his ex, right?
That was his ex,
Mhm.
and then now this producer is where this is kind of really blown up, is that he's kind of letting everything out, and he's mentioned all kinds of people. So now that's what they're looking for, is basically videos now, why they went and raided his house and things, and so now it's just out there. I mean, I've seen a lot of interviews from him and Usher, him and Justin Bieber, and the way they just look so awkward and stuff. And
Yeah.
the internet's been putting this out there for years, man. So it's
I know,
nothing
man.
new, but it's all about people like, no, there's no way Diddy did that. Well, and that's why they talk about his parties. So, but now everybody's making fun of him, man, and it's freaking hilarious, I think, in a way. But kind of sucks, man. Now we've got another. I mean, y'all being in music, what do you think now? Can we not play their music anymore here
Dude,
pretty soon?
that's a
or-
very good question. I remember one time I played like when I was on Bourbon Street, I played Ignition, right? Remixed Ignition by R.
R.
Kelly.
Kelly.
And the people started like booing. And I was like, I don't give a
Really?
damn. My boy said, we played Michael Jackson. He was accused of everything.
Right.
I said, I'm a
Yeah.
huge Michael Jackson fan. I was like, so if they produce the music, I don't think the music should be, I guess, attacked, I guess. But if people want a certain song, I don't give a damn. If you're paying me, I'm going to play whatever you want. You want Diddy all night, I'm going to play it. Now, I don't know as far as what's going to happen in the future with all Diddy songs, right? Or how do you go about that? He produced a lot of people, produced a lot of music. So are you not just going to play any of his shit?
Like
You know?
Biggie.
Biggie as well, right? I mean, Biggie was produced by Diddy as well. So
Yeah.
kind of crazy. But I saw an interview one time with Usher, and they're asking him about, would you, now that you have a son, would you
Oh,
let
yeah,
him go
he's
to
like, hell
your Diddy party? He says, hell no.
no. He
And
said,
that was back in the
"Hell
day.
no."
Yanks.
So imagine he's known what's going on for a very long time. But yeah, kind of crazy to see how.
And we
it's
probably
happening.
say the same thing now, but you hear it right now, right? Especially I think with like our generation, because we were like that first generation that started getting access to things like cell phones, social media, and things like that, right? And we joke around. I've heard it from a lot of people. They're like, man, if Snapchat, if video, if social media was around in my day, shit, how many people would be in trouble for some shit, right?
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
And so now it's just on a elevated scale. Now, not to say like Diddy, because right, he was apparently running like prostitution rings
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
And he's
craziness. So that was
possibly part of murders too.
so yeah. And so outside and beyond just the fact of doing some crazy stuff that can be put out in public so easily, but you just take someone like that, right? That you're like, man, for so long, that people just thought like, they could be trusted or doing nothing on that scale, and here it is coming
Yeah.
to light. So
Cat Williams called it out, man. Started
He
the
did.
year
That's
off
true. He
right,
did.
bro.
He did.
So,
He did. And
There were people calling before that too that we just didn't really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And Cassie, the way she tried to sue him
was federally.
was, so that the feds have to go and at least investigate it. So that's where that's also has started lots. But from him being linked to possibly Michael Jackson's murder as well, and him being part of the shooting,
Tupac's murder.
Tupac's murder,
Even
dude,
Jamie Foxx's health, I heard.
and Jennifer Lopez too, man. Like apparently Jennifer Lopez took a gun in the a club for him, and that guy that they shot ended up not dying. But if he would have died, there could have been a possible for her to even been hit with that her fault in a way.
Well, even if it didn't, this last album she just released just killed her. So
Yeah.
it was horrible, bro. Because
bad.
she just came out with an album,
Mhm.
and it did like she had to like start canceling tour dates and shit
Yeah.
because
because it started affecting her.
because it was that bad, and people literally
Dang.
were like J-Lo, you are it's past your prime.
What is it? Is it the voice or
You're
the
done.
performance
Like her
or
just,
what?
I think her just, her style, her
Yeah.
songs are just not appealing to this generation.
Generation.
The generation of a Taylor Swift, of a Beyonce, of those kind of people, and or they're more into the rawness of a Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Glorilla, stuff like that. It's like, and then you hear a J-Lo. I mean, it's like, okay, you just got to know when your time was your time.
Trust me, I knew it was my time. I just turned 40, so I got to hang it up. But no, yeah, you're right. I heard that video that she released on the Amazon or whatever it was. Like, what is it called? My comeback or something like that.
Yeah.
God, I was reading the reviews. It was so terrible, man. Apparently you can't even make it to the first 10 minutes.
That's rough,
wow, was
bro.
that bad?
Yeah.
That's rough.
Was that bad?
But to your point, talking about they were saying that the Diddler on here, about Puff Daddy, the Diddler has got another nickname here,
The
bro.
Diddler?
Like that's right. So it makes me wonder, because you start to see just kind of all these people getting or different celebrities getting exposed. Like, who's next? Who else is out there doing some shady ass freaking?
Well, you hear
crazy
rumblings.
shit?
I'm not going to say any names, but you hear rumblings. And I don't know if they're rumors or there's any factuality to any of this stuff, but you hear stuff going on. And I hear it. And
I
yeah.
think they just got to go Cat Williams has become the
just
Nostradamus, bro.
Yeah, man. Sheesh. I wonder what he was going to say next.
So you mentioned Beyonce earlier and how pop culture now embraces Beyonce in multiple music industries, right? Or genres. What do you guys think about Beyonce going into the country realm?
I mean, she's from Texas, right? I mean,
from Houston,
right? You're from Houston, so I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a bad thing if you're not making good music. But I mean, how many times have y'all played that song, guys?
Here's what I want. I have yet
0.
And this past weekend, I can tell you, somebody came up to me. Okay, it was a 20-something-year-old daughter who said, "Hey, my mom requested that Beyonce Texas Hold'em."
Hold your mom.
And she, I could tell in her eyes, she came up there and asked me like out of obligation, and I looked at her too like, come on. I mean, 'cause this was like
we're gonna try it this week.
This was like midnight, and we were probably close towards the end of the night, and people were feeling hype. We're playing swag surfing, it's getting hype, and I'm like, just looking at her like, I'll do the best I can do. Here's my thing with that though, is when you see some of those artists, what I'm wondering is it more that they're just following a trend or trying to set a trend, or is it genuinely about who they are as an artist?
I think a little bit of both. I think mostly who they are as an artist.
Well, I'll tell you this, and obviously Jerry and I do all different types of gigs, and I get at least 8 requests for Taylor Swift per night, and I get 0 for Beyonce. If I do get a Beyonce request, it's probably single ladies for like the
put a ring on it.
Toss, yeah. But I mean, just out of that's what I think Beyonce's doing. I think she's trying to cater to everybody, and obviously she's a legend, and one of the best in her games for forever. But when it comes to actual songs that we play, man, I tell you what, I just get so many requests for Taylor Swift over Beyonce. So somebody asked me, who do you think's better? I was like, well, they're different. You can't really compare, but I'm a Swiftie all the way, so I got to say that. But
I will say, and you know what? I mean, music goes through an evolution over generations, right? Yeah. So, maybe for us, we're like used to, like Tina comment on here, her redo of Jolene is awful, and it is. It is bad compared to Dolly Parton's Jolene.
Yeah.
Right. And that for us in our generation or groups before us, it's like you're giving it something to compare to. And you probably hear that when you hear that song. You're hearing a Dolly Parton. You're associating with that.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the stigma of country music. And now you have someone come in like this versus, maybe my daughter in that generation, they hear a Beyonce and they're thinking, man, that's cool. That's fresh. That's different. I like it. It's artistic. It's creative. And she did. She changed some of the words and other lyrics in the song to make it appeal differently. But that's the thing. Is it right? Is it wrong? I think it's just, it becomes yours. It's a creative expression, the way that they wanted to make it.
I'm a Destiny's Child fan.
I think Beyonce did good. Yeah, we'll get back to Destiny's Child because that was back 90s, right?
Yeah.
The Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind. So there was a movie, I think it was, I don't remember what it was about, but Beyonce was in that. And she did a hell of a job doing the remake of I'd Rather Go Blind. So
Yeah, and I've seen that. You know, you've seen that with other artists. I was telling someone about that recently. A lot of Chris Stapleton's music is covers, right? A lot of his music. I was actually
Tennessee
like
Whiskey.
very surprised at how much of his music was actually just covers of original country songs. And I think that's the thing is when, and not to say stay within your lane or your genre, but when it's too far fetched, you're going to get some of that criticism. Like you're just like, man, I kind of grew to expect this from Beyonce this certain way, and now that just seems to way out of left field. And in a way, it just comes off gimmicky, right?
Yeah.
In some ways, you know, are they just trying to stay relevant, do something that's going to be so outlandish people can't help but listen?
Anyway, if they request it, I'm playing. I want to see how it goes.
Speaking of outlandish and staying relevant, Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, she's been going crazy too, bro.
Do you guys follow her on Instagram?
I
Still-
don't.
I actually do.
If
yeah.
you haven't followed her Instagram, do that now.
Really, it's that. I mean, you sent me that photo. I was like, "Whoa, Johnny!"
Yeah.
But she's on the beach.
She's on the beach
But you're
naked.
like, it's on her Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, it's showing her bare ass, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, is that considered nude? I don't know.
No.
I mean, that's
Dude, that's
You see what Jesse does on OnlyFans? No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's only Batas, babe.
oh, only about that.
so. Britney comes on here, and she's in scantily clad attire,
Mhm.
sometimes very smaller than that.
Yeah.
But she was on this Instagram kick where she just going on there and just showing her body, and she gets a shitload of people liking it and following it and sharing it. And I don't know if people are just doing that just to make her feel good or to make fun of her. Are they really truly like that stuff?
Dude,
But-
that's just the world of social media we live in, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, just so whatever's going to catch your attention at the moment. I mean, yeah, it's insane to me, some of the stuff that is promoted or highlighted or see things or people are following.
So nothing's off limits because now we got OnlyFans, right?
Yeah.
And we got Britney getting naked on her Instagram. And so
Everybody's
people-
getting naked on their IG,
people are just-
apparently. Sheesh.
Are you next? Or have you been
Oh,
naked on
no,
there before?
no, never. I don't even
What-
take my
what-
shirt off anymore, man.
I might be wrong, Jesse, but I think you told us like a statistic about something like they're allowed, certain things are allowed now on Instagram. I think you told us a couple weeks ago.
No, we were talking about Twitch.
No, it's
How they were
Twitch.
talking about.
Twitch. Okay,
they were
yeah.
talking about they are allowing artists. What was it?
But they changed it.
Yeah, they changed it back.
It went back.
Oh,
So
did
they were going to
They
allow
went back from
topless
it?
because it's like artistry. I forgot what it was, like
Oh my
culture.
gosh.
I don't know, something like that. But they
Mm.
changed it back though. So I think for a while we were transitioning to like everybody going nude, but I think it's we're pulling the reins back to make it more, like people are going to be canceled now if they're going butt naked on IG
Keep it
now. I
close
think.
on.
Well, speaking of butt naked, Pornhub was recently banned here in Texas.
Sheesh,
You got to be because there was no way to validate your age.
your age. Okay. I
So
can
I
get
know,
behind that.
I know.
I mean, isn't that the case for a lot of those sites? I mean, you can simply say, I'm
Yeah.
18.
right.
I mean,
yeah.
So I know the hardcore connoisseurs of that type of material found a way around it.
J-Rock.
J-Rock.
What the hell? J-Rock's like, hey, I'm going to find a way around because I do reach arounds.
Yeah. So J-Rock was on. We were trying to watch him.
he came
because-
out with his own customized VPN.
Yeah.
Like,
So I know.
It's
I know
like,
he
"Dude,
was.
I'm tired of this.
We had to make sure that we had full scope of J-Rock because he was about to hit rock bottom.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you go for Biden, damn it. Yeah. Man, it's just crazy. No,
Hey, now, hey, speaking of here, real quick, just to make sure our audience knows, but Jessica Martinez said Johnny doesn't watch that Pornhub. He's a man of God.
That's
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm a man of the
Hallelujah.
cloth.
The cloth.
y'all gotta
So,
know Johnny's new.
Yes,
new
he's not tarnished at all. So.
I didn't tell you what kind of cloth, but I'm a man of the cloth.
Hallelujah.
Oh my God.
So Johnny has a new saying now because I was talking with Jessica on the phone. It was what we were trying to do a podcast, right? And he's like, "Well, let's do it on Sunday." I'm like, "Johnny, it's Easter." He goes, "Jesus knows I got to do a podcast."
Oh my God.
He knows.
I was like, "We gotta,
He knows.
we gotta put that on. We gotta put that on a t-shirt
Yeah,
now for
we
Johnny."
could start the podcast off with a prayer, and then
Nothing surprises him.
and then we'll go.
Surprises him.
That was so funny. So now that's his saying now, bro. Is
He knows.
He knows. Yeah, he knows that I have to do a podcast.
But the world's going wild. We got bridges that are collapsing.
Yes, man.
We got a whole bunch of things going on.
Sheesh.
How's
But,
that going to
hey,
affect
real
us?
quick, so I want to touching back on that Pornhub thing because
Okay.
talking about censorship because I've also started to see this is like in some areas there's more censorship, but I've seen there's more. It seems it's become more relaxed in other areas. I think like social media, talked about like the Instagram thing. I've noticed even like on some of our content, it's unedited, it's raw, it's there's cuss words and whatnot. And I think even before a few years ago, probably on social media, that would have been so taboo, right? You watch TV. I love watching Ink Masters. And the Ink Masters, like before you'd watch TV, everything was edited. There'd be no cuss words, they're all beeping out.
Yeah.
That's completely unedited now, right? I mean, you could just throw TV on. So who's stopping? How do you regulate or know if a child is watching TV and they go to a channel where it's completely just, open content?
They don't, man.
Yeah, that's so crazy that you're saying that, because with wrestling right now, with The Rock coming back, he's literally cussing now. And he even apologized to those kids on TV last night on Monday Night Raw. But he's also saying, but
wait, now on there, are they bleeping it out?
Is it F-bombs?
They're bleeping it out because Monday Night Raw is PG. It's supposed to be PG.
Okay.
When you put the PG-13, now you can say a couple more other things, right?
Sure.
But since Netflix has purchased the rights to the TV rights to WWE in 2025, that's where I think they're heading.
Wow.
And that even leads to not even just wrestling, but where you're saying like this back in the day, you used to have the Attitude Era on TV, and they can cuss. You got chicks showing boobs, fashion, and stuff, and they called that the Attitude Era. But I think that was everybody. That was MTV. Doing all that crazy stuff. And I feel like that's coming back now because, again, there's really nobody regulating on this stuff in a way. There's really no TV. TV's got to catch up with YouTube now.
Well, I think we just live in a world where everything's acceptable.
Yeah.
Everything's acceptable.
Yeah.
Acceptable. So, and the thing is, if you speak out against anything, oh shit, you have just drawn the line in the sand. And,
man.
People are gonna like hold your feet to the fire and be like, man, why are you against that?
Or sometimes it
Like
just
that.
takes
It's
one
like-
person to speak out against like a small group of people. One person speaks out against a topic, and then they start censoring it because these big corporations, they bow down and they cower to. So it's opposite end of the spectrum what we're talking about.
True.
A lot of things are acceptable now, but the minute somebody speaks out against it, holy shit, all hell breaks loose. Let's stop it.
I agree with that.
So to that point, we're in an election year.
Yeah.
They say you never talk about politics, right? So I mean, do you have any particular stances on that? I mean, you think Trump is going to get the nomination?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
And I think that everything's going to happen where he's going to be elected and up to win, and they're going to try to come with something crazy out of left field to
try to get him out.
To try to get him out. Yeah, but at the same time, we got to be honest, man. Trump doesn't do himself any favors by if he just held it back, maybe 15-20%, maybe he would get everybody on his side, right?
I kind of like the truth thing, man. Like
I do too. But at the same time, you still got to be presidential, all the time, right? But hey, if I'll tell you this, when people ask me who do I vote for, I say I vote for the military. Whoever supports the military the most, that has my vote all the time. And I feel like he's the hardest working president, whether you love him or you hate him. That his ass was everywhere on Twitter at 3 a.m. He was doing every interview. He was doing everything. And man, you hardly see Biden, right? You hardly see Biden, man.
So let me tell you this. So we are always evolving as leaders and as the politicians are evolving. With Donald Trump, he's bold and he's unpredictable. That's the reason why other world leaders are afraid of him. Because he'll call you out and say, I'm going to fucking bomb your ass.
Yeah, I'm going to press his button.
Right? And if you're too presidential, you're going to be politically correct.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we do about this.
Yeah.
No, Donald Trump will say, bullshit. Don't screw America.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bomb your ass. Mr. Rocket Man or Putin or Xi, or he calls these guys out with nicknames, and people are afraid of that. Yeah. And some people look at it as, oh man, he's a loose cannon, he's over the top. But that, I think, is a bold leader, and that has deterred these other dangerous world leaders from messing with us.
Yeah.
Here's what I like about him, and they had asked him recently. He said, you know what, man, I constantly get that question is, he's got plenty of wealth. He owns plenty of net worth and has plenty of power. It's like, why? Why then pursue this? Why pursue becoming the president of the United States? And here's what I appreciate about it. He genuinely is like, you know what? I want to make America great again for everybody, right? It isn't this personal agenda because he doesn't really need anything more.
Yeah.
He's got everything he's need. But it's like, you know what? If that's what it's going to take for me to have an impact or an influence over all of America, then shit,
Yeah.
I'm going to do
So,
it.
dude,
You know,
he's
so-
getting attacked by the media, by the opposing party. He's losing money. He didn't pay a dime, or he didn't get paid a dime as president. He
Yeah,
he
he
donated
donated it all
his
back.
money.
Mhm.
There's so many things, like you said, that he's not gaining any advantage. Sure, he's a leader of the free world, but he's actually losing all these. He's
Yeah,
getting
he-
indicted. He's trying to get put in jail. I mean, what the hell, man? I think
Yeah.
yeah,
he
I think
gives
he
a
just
shit.
put up a $175 million
Yep.
bond
Yeah.
today or yesterday
you-
or something like that. That's crazy.
So one of the most powerful things I've ever heard him say was, "Remember, people, they're not after me; they're after you. I'm just in their way."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Damn, that's pretty good."
Either way, bro, just for someone to be in that position of being the president of the United States, bro. I mean,
Ooh.
whatever political party you're on or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we're
To-
gonna
to-
find out soon
to-
enough, right? This
yeah.
is this
to
is
be
the
in
year.
that role, bro.
So let's talk about perspective. So you host Hype Club,
Mhm.
and we talk about business leaders, and not everybody's your client, and some people don't like you the bigger you get. Can you imagine if people are against you in that small of a capacity,
right.
and then now you're on a world stage when you're having to deal with not only the opposing party, people within your party, but now you're having to deal with China, Russia, North Korea, terrorism, all these
Mhm.
other people that are against you and against the country that you represent.
Right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Only the strongest of the freaking elite
Dude.
are going to be able to withstand that and still want to go in there and fight for America.
Yeah.
Just imagine that.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Even just, I mean, you deal with some of the, man, I remember I ran for a school board a few years ago.
Yeah.
Bro, that was school board, bro. And that was even hard enough in itself, feeling
Mhm.
like, man, there were times where I was like, man,
They go into your past?
being opinionated about a certain topic. And it was
Mhm.
like, man, like you mentioned, Johnny, if on that level and it's magnetized to the nth degree, like,
Mhm.
man, and you still got to wake up the next day and show up, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the media saying, "Oh, that Jerry Salcedo, look, he's a racist. He's this.
Right.
He's a womanizer. He's been sleeping with porn stars and getting sued." I mean, just imagine the weakest people would just curl up in
Yeah.
a fetal
Yeah.
position.
Your mental health's got to be the
Yep.
strongest ever, man.
I was about to say he hasn't lost a hair, but then again, it's a comb over. So, he's doing all right.
Gets half the world to hate him, half the world to hate him.
So whether you hate him or love him, I mean, I think his best interest is the United States of America.
Well, either way, we're going to find out this year, right? One thing I saw whenever people were returning from the Vietnam War and they were being interviewed and they were being booed and egged and all this stuff, and they were coming back so skinny. You could see they're so malnutrition. They just went to war for these people that are booing them because they were booing the war. And a reporter went up to one of the people that looked just like 100 pounds, man. And they said, "How do you feel about this? You just fought for these people, and these people are spitting in your face. They're booing you." He said, "That's why we went to war for. So they're able to do that."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's powerful right there. That's why they fight. So people can have that option because people don't realize
Right.
they have that option to do that because of the military. And that's why I circle back
Yeah.
to the military. You got to
Yeah.
support the military.
Well, hey, so speaking of tragic things and crazy things in the
Yeah.
news, man. So I know we were talking earlier, but you know, they had that bridge collapse
Mhm.
in Baltimore, and insanely crazy to watch. I remember that video, you know, went ultra viral.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as it happened, to the point, even I remember it being shared with me multiple times. I wake up that morning and I was like, I thought it was a scam. I was like, I'm not opening that video. And, you know, you just see the image, but to see that unfold, man, just seeing everything in the news. So I bring that up with talking about like what we're talking here with regards to the election
Mhm.
to that, because there's been these conspiracies or conversations around cyber attacks.
Yep.
Right. And some saying like, man, like we were that ship was cyber attacked. It was under control or something happened that caused it. And then it hit that bridge. Unfortunately, lives lost and stuff like that. But whether that really did happen or that's just the reality of the world that we live in now, like that is a stark reality of something that could potentially happen. So how are you feeling about that? What are your thoughts on cyber attacks, controls, or where AI technology and things like that
Well,
are happening now?
I mean, I talked to Jerry about this last week. For those of you who don't know, I think that was what's his name, Francis Scott Key, right?
Francis Scott
so
Key
Francis
Bridge.
Scott Key Bridge. For those of you who don't know who that is, Francis Scott Key is the one who wrote the poem of the national anthem. It was basically a poem first, I believe, in 1814 or something like that, a couple years after the war of 1812, and it was a poem. And that poem later on got accepted by United States politics and got made into our national anthem. So they're saying since that was one of the first bridges to come down, it was an attack on American democracy because it was the national anthem. You know, it's called the Key Bridge for a reason. So that's a conspiracy right there, right? And not only that, apparently there's a couple other bridges that were attacked as well or tried to, you know, collapse. So that's to answer your question. Yes, I think it's very possible. And the reason they would attack a bridge, for those of you who are wondering, is because it creates commerce, trades in, trades out. So
Economy.
You know, if you're affecting the trades, what happens to America? Everything goes up because people can't get all their goods. Next thing you know, people are under frenzy and, you know, rioting and all that stuff. So it's a trickle, it's a domino effect.
It affects capitalism.
Yes.
And the wars used to be fought with guns and bombs and stuff like that, right? They still are. But today, cyber is the way to hurt people, and you can hurt them in so many ways with cyber by breaking down bridges and all these things, right? So China, Russia, North Korea, all these people have smart freaking people on their side. Hackers that are going to take down our grids, take down our Teslas. There was a movie about that.
I saw that.
Right.
What was it called? The End of Days or something
where
like
all
that.
the Teslas start piling up, going full speed. That was a scary
that
part.
shit is real, man.
Yeah, dude.
And that's a scary thing. And people are talking about the food industry and all this. You're gonna have to, only the rich are gonna be able to get food. And I mean, 20, 30 years ago, you would think talking about this was outlandish and over the top.
Oh yeah,
and just
sci-fi, right?
Stupid,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But today, that's a reality.
Yeah.
And that vessel, that boat that was coming through, it lost power, then regained power. So I don't know if that was part of the illusion or you know, to make us think that it was power, but it looked deliberate, man.
And that was crazy. We'll never know.
I blame the millennium. This is started it all.
The millennium or the Illuminati? What are you talking about?
Millennium. Remember whenever like it was about to turn 2000, everybody think that
the Y2K?
The Y2K.
Oh, Y2K shit. Yeah, isn't that what it was? Yeah, I blame them. They started this shit.
So, and people are saying the eclipse now is going to bring some kind of stuff. I mean,
man.
I think people make some stuff up.
Are y'all gonna go? Y'all gonna take the day to go do all that? I heard there's schools out. Like,
I heard their schools. I actually got hired to DJ somewhere like about 2 hours
for the
away.
eclipse.
Yes,
for the eclipse.
It's an eclipse party where one of my friends owns 55 acres, and he's having an entire party that Sunday before. She's like, dude, what do I got to pay you to come set up? And he's like, you know, everybody's going to be camping out and all that stuff. Because where he's at, it's like the total amount of totality, like the max amount. It's like perfect over his land. So I was like, man, we'll figure it out. I'm coming out though, because, you know.
But it's crazy. Even when Jesse
paying
told me about that, I was like, man, you know, the totality of the eclipse is lasting like minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, in minutes, all this perfect. But it is crazy because, I mean, they're estimating like millions of people to come to this area of the hill country.
Yes.
Because, I mean, there literally is just a small margin of area in the United States where you'll actually be able to experience it at all. We just happen to be in that path. So it's crazy. I knew it was, and it really didn't capture my attention, right, until the schools. And I received that email, my daughter being in school, that they're like, hey, we're going to close because the amount of people they anticipate to be here is going to cause so much congestion on the roadways. It's not going to be safe.
Yep.
And I believe it. So you know what? Also, I follow, if you used car rental app called Turo, they've just seen prices skyrocket for vehicles getting rented even on that weekend leading up to that day.
Airbnbs, hotels, and burning.
People literally come in to experience those couple minutes of totality. And now here's one thing. I mean, I've watched some other clips where they've talked about previous totality eclipses, and they just say it's one of those lifetime things that if you have not experienced for yourself, you just have to. Even if it's short-lived, you're just like, man, it's just obviously not anything you can duplicate. So
when's the next one supposed to be? Isn't it 300 years?
Something like that. I think it was like.
Can you look it up? I think
but there was just an eclipse a few years ago.
No, this is like the
no,
eclipse.
But it is. These eclipse of totality. There's, and fortunately, in our lifetime, there was one I think in 2017. This one I think there is one about in 20 years now. But after that, it's going to be
like 300 years or something.
Hundreds of years until it happens again. So. Like I said, that's really
I
interesting.
like when this happens because it gives people the
It
idea.
will happen again in August of 2044 in Montana and North Dakota area.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jess
okay.
said, yep, 300. She said, well, Jess said, according to Paul Mireles, the weatherman on Ken's 5, said there's going to be a lot of cloud coverage on Monday.
That's fake news.
Oh,
Fake news.
fake news. You can't trust them.
Oh, my God.
I like when these happen.
Jessica Martinez, we need you off our feed, ma'am.
Yes. I like when this stuff happens because it gives people the idea of how fast the Earth is actually traveling.
Yeah.
People don't realize the Earth is traveling 1,000 miles an hour, right? And that's how fast when it happens, it's basically that's how fast this Earth is traveling. That's when we only have a few minutes of that totality. You know.
So this astronomy stuff, this has been in our history. Thousands of years ago, these philosophers and all that knew about this stuff. How the hell did they know about all this stuff?
They would mark everything down, and when it happened again, they had notes on it. Man.
Imagine when they did not know and it happened.
People were like, "What did we do? We got to sacrifice people." You know, a lot of crazy. Yeah, they would.
We gotta sacrifice people.
They would.
Yeah, they would
would
think
make
like the sun
sacrifices.
god was mad or something like that, right? Or
Yeah.
like, I mean, craziness, but
So like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world because of astronomy, because of the moon. Look at how many craters have hit the moon. You look at the moon with the naked eye, it has a shitload of craters on it.
Yeah,
Right?
looks like my back.
Yeah.
Going to Pound Town.
Or your face.
Hey, yeah. Right there.
Pound Town. Your face went to Pound Town. man.
I need to lose some weight, bro.
Yeah. But like shit like the pyramids and
Yeah, dude.
all this stuff, stuff is intriguing, man.
Man, I love that, dude. I just saw, I don't know if you guys saw this, that they
Yeah, you
found
were
a
talking
super
about that.
Earth. They found a super Earth that is 1.3 times the size of Earth, 4 light years away. Does anybody know that?
did not know that.
Yeah, they found it. And then basically the way it turns is exactly like our moon. So there's only a permanent day side and there's only a permanent night side of that Earth. So obviously if you live in the night side, you can't. It's below freezing. But if you live in the day side, has oxygen, has carbon dioxide.
Is there people on there?
Oh, of course
Or
not.
some kind of life?
But to that point, you were just sharing with me that series you were watching on Netflix now, where they were talking about another life being somewhere, 400 light years away or
Yeah.
some shit like
a
that.
parallel universe?
They were observing Earth to see if
No, it's 400 years away, but it's a show called 3 Worlds or something like that. I forget. Three Earths. I forget what it was, but 3 moons. I don't know. It's such a damn good show. I'll find out the name though, but it gives you perspective. And my little nephew, he asked me, his name's Marcus. He said, Uncle Jesse, if it's only 4 light years away, can we take our fastest jet and would our grandkids be able to be there? I said, if we took our fastest jet on planet Earth and we went to that planet that's only 4 light years away, it would take us 137,000 years to get there.
And we'd run out of fuel like after like 6
Traveling
hours.
at the fastest possible jet that we have on planet Earth to get there, it took 137,000 years to cover 4 light years, just to give you perspective. Crazy, right? So obviously we're never going to
insane, bro.
Yes, I love that shit though, man.
You believe in aliens?
Hell yeah, I do. Yeah.
Are they underneath the water or are they in the sky?
Both.
I think they're both. Yeah, man.
Really? I think they're underneath the water.
I think underneath the water is how they enter and
I
exit.
do, bro.
I do. Yeah. There's so much of underwater we haven't explored. But
yeah, and
don't
we
get me
can't
started
get
because
down there.
I research everything, man. I will go here all damn day talking about
That's
this.
why we don't see him at lunch. He's researching.
Jesse's got YouTube on standby, bro. I mean,
Man,
these
I tell
guys
you
are
what,
just
dude.
ready.
I'm like, well, I just researched about that.
I
you
was
know?
I was gonna ask about your search history, but on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
Well, he's got VPN now.
I will
Yes.
tell you, Jesse is certainly one of those people you're like filled with useless information at the most random of moments, and you're just like,
Yes.
where? Not only being able to research, it's one thing to research, but it's another thing to retain it. And
Yeah.
you know, like Jesse
love
is
that
a
stuff.
sponge, bro.
Yeah. Johnny, ask me how far the sun is from Earth.
How far is the sun from Earth, Jesse?
It's 92,800,000 miles away. That is considered 4 light minutes away.
Just 4 light minutes?
We're traveling at the speed of light. We will get to the sun in 4 minutes.
Because light, where does that? I mean, how does that
So
start?
basically, when the sun
Come from the sun, how far it travels.
yeah,
It takes 4 minutes to come from the sun
4
to
minutes
the
to
earth.
come.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what we're experiencing now happened
Yeah.
4 light minutes away.
And some people don't realize that the sun is a star, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most people understand it.
It's a dwarf
But
star.
it's a small star, a dwarf.
Yeah.
Imagine one of these bigger, what are they called?
Yeah, like the Sombrero Galaxy. People don't realize
Hey,
the Sombrero
so
Galaxy.
Black
is-
holes are
Hey,
even bigger.
Jesse, I just had a realization.
Yes.
So you come quicker than the sunlight.
Oh, yes, I absolutely.
Yeah.
All my kids were created in less time. So.
He comes quicker than sunlight in a black hole.
In a black hole.
Yeah, like the people don't realize the Sombrero Galaxy is another galaxy out there, and their sun is 400 times larger than our sun. Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely insane.
Yes, but anyhow, we can go all day. One thing most people don't realize is there's more trees on planet Earth than there is stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Yes,
But
that
those
is a
trees
fact.
are getting knocked down, man, to build houses.
2 trillion trees on planet Earth right now. Look it up. 2 trillion
Right.
trees.
I
That
don't know
just
if you're-
amazes me. As I'm one of those guys. I'm walking around HEB and I'm just like, how is there enough stuff in the world to
Yes.
sustain everything? This is
Everybody.
one HEB, and I'm blown away about how much stuff is.
Yeah.
That's just one place, and there's enough to just constantly replenish
Yes, man.
what we use, or maybe there isn't. You know, eventually it's going to come to an end where there's not enough. But just everything that is provided from this earth. I mean, craziness.
Yeah, there's a
Absolutely
lot.
crazy, man.
Earth is big and it's extremely tiny at the same time, right? So
Right.
I love it.
Isn't it crazy how every living organism has some kind of effect? Like, let's just say a cow.
Yeah.
All right. What does a cow have?
Meat,
Okay. Meat. It provides meat.
milk.
It has this gas when it farts,
Nitrogen.
right?
What
Yeah.
the hell?
Right.
Yeah.
You
Dioxide.
need that,
You need that? Really?
right?
Mm-hmm.
It provides fertilizer.
How much pink eye do you get?
Photosynthesis.
Probably a lot. I mean, there's so many, and
Probably,
they
yeah.
all feed each other or feed off each other. So whoever, I mean, I believe God created the earth, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But how deliberate and sensitive was all this stuff?
Well, and that's the thing you got to think about. Like, I mean, when people talk about evolution or just Big Bang or things just happen to work out and be where at, I personally, like, that's not, I can't believe that. I mean, there's just, to me, there was just a miraculous creator for things to work out for even you and I. And we've had this conversation,
Yeah.
like Jesse, where you just talk about everything that had to happen for us just to be right here, a living organism, talking, breathing the way that we are, is literally a miracle.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is. So, I mean, to just be like, man, it just happened to work out.
Hmm.
No.
It just happened.
It's not by
I
accident.
mean,
Yeah.
no, I
That's why you should not be down on yourself. Earth and life is beautiful. So if you're down, get with one of us, man. We'll take you to go have a good time and lift your spirits, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, he'll play you a good song.
Yes.
yeah, literally,
Yeah.
you, every single person, all these moments, I mean, literally is a miracle in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? In the moment. I mean, it's just too much to comprehend, right?
It's too much to comprehend.
Well, with
For
that
sure.
being said, gentlemen, I got 2 questions I want to leave with.
Sure, what's up?
Because I know we got to get out of here pretty soon. What is one thing that you miss doing as a kid?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you this. One thing I miss as doing as a kid is whenever I'd get home from school, I'd ask my mom, hey, can I go play outside? I love that shit, man. It was me. I lived back in the Lindy's. We were, very, very poor. We didn't even know we were poor, but I had a good time with all my people from back in the day. Shout out to all the Lindy crew. But man, I love that shit. We would go ride bikes. We would go exploring. We would go play basketball, man. We would go throw the ball. It was just every day. Me, my cousin Jaimito, and little John, he passed away, and Quincy, man, I tell you, we had a good crew. We would just go play, man. That was one of my
Yeah.
favorite things. Drinking out of the manguera, right? When you were tired. What about y'all?
I think just the freedom I had as a kid, just not having all these burdens and obligations that we have as adults, being able to play and not have to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow I got to go do this or do this. I
Yeah.
was just free. I was just, playing football, like you said,
Right.
drinking out of the water hose, going swimming. And this was all during summer, of course, too. And my only obligation was to get good grades
Yeah.
and to get up in the morning on my own and go to school.
Man.
And that's really all I had. I mean, that was freedom in itself.
Yeah. What about you, Cuz?
Yeah. A lot of those things, especially now, being able to see like my daughter and where she's at. We were talking about this earlier, but I was just like, man, it makes me happy to see my child happy. And I was taking one of those moments last week where, man, we've been busy with business, but I don't feel like it's one of those things where I'm like burnt out or overwhelmed. Just happen
Yeah.
to be in this season where it's very busy and know it's happening. But I'm just like, man, when was the last time I really just got to laugh and smile and just like a childlike, right?
Mhm.
Just like you said, whether it's no worries, just enjoying life, just having fun, I felt like I got to have that because I have 3 siblings, and we're all very close in age, and so we always had friends. We always had someone to play with. We always entertained ourselves. We were always around family. We were that typical Mexican family where we probably lived with 3 generations under one roof. So there was always something going on, and the thing is, it's very, very different. Not just for myself now, but even for my daughter
Yeah.
and our kids. And I'm just like, man, I miss those kind of things. I think we just had Easter, right? And I remember we'd go like Easter Sunday out to Landa Park, just have
Oh
a
yeah.
big old freaking
Everybody
Easter egg
driving through the
hunt.
park, man.
Everybody out there doing just those kind of things. And I was like, man, when's the last time I went to just go enjoy the park like on a Sunday? Have fun, barbecue, listen to music, hang out with
Yes.
family, just run around, just smile and laugh just for, and those are the kind of things I'm just like, man, like I was thinking like we were talking earlier, I was like, when is the last time I just took a day off, just be like, I have no responsibilities, and yet I'm in complete control over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But that's one of those things I miss as a child, you know. I think that's why I enjoy so much, especially like a day like Easter where I got to see my nieces and nephews and they're doing that. You know,
Yeah, true that.
I saw my nephew Saint, who's I believe he's going on 3 years
3 years
old, but
old,
he had
yeah.
this little rocket ship thing which you put on a little inflatable platform. You step on it and the air pressure pushes the
Push
rocket
the
up.
ball up. I mean,
Bro,
like,
he was so entertained by that all afternoon long, but it was exciting, right? And then he
hell
like
yeah.
jumps on with 2 feet and like goes skyrocketing in the air. And then you see some of the adults like, man, that looks fun. I want to go do it, right? Because it brings out that childlike,
Inner child.
you know,
Yeah.
and joy out of you. Like, but just stuff like that where I was like, man, you know, you just and when you get that, you kind of get that release of just like, man, that's kind of
Yeah,
what I've been missing.
dopamine.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't get that.
What about
So,
you guys? What is
yeah.
something you miss when you were a kid back in the, late 80s or 80s or 90s, man? What is something you guys miss?
Heck yeah, man.
Like the question.
My thing was just exactly what Jerry said, was missing friends, missing being able to just not have any worries and go out there, because at the end of the day, gentlemen, I'm still a kid at heart. So next question. How do you know this is a big one for all of us. What do you know what to prioritize and what you wait for in life? I'm sorry, one more time. How do you know what to prioritize and what can wait in your life?
I don't know how I know. I just look it up and was like,
Well, I'll start off.
Yes, please do.
Me as a married man and a family guy, I prioritize my family. Everything is based on them, and every decision I make, when I mean decision, meaning big decisions, life decisions, business decisions, it's based on them. And my partner is my wife, so we make big decisions together. But that's what I prioritize, them, and then secondary is everything else. All right. So I have different categories and different priorities. 1 through 5, 1 through 10. There's some things that are more important. It's all situational. One thing can go from number 10 to number 2 really quick. Some things can go from number 5 to number 1. But overall, my family. And then what was the second question?
Again, and what can wait in life? So what do you prioritize and what can wait in life?
The things that don't matter. Maybe we talked about it at lunch, cutting back on drinking. Things that aren't good for you. Bad food, bad habits, bad people. Those things can wait, man. I'm gonna put those
Damn
off.
right.
I'm gonna put those off to the side,
Yeah.
and then maybe I'll get back to them later. But it's all situational again. That kind of toxicity can definitely wait, and it's gonna go lower and lower on my totem pole as I progress in life. So
Nice.
You know, here's the way that I look, and I feel like I've gone through a lot of personal growth and development in this area, in better understanding, like even to that question that you asked there. And I put it this way: I don't always necessarily make the right decision,
Correct.
but I trust my decision making process.
Nice.
And that's something that has evolved quite a bit over the last few years. And here's what I filter that through. Like you talked about what is important, what are you spending time on, what is a priority. And for me, it is. I've spent time on personal development and growing and understanding. Okay, how is it that you make your decisions and make actions in life, you know? And part of that first comes from your thoughts, of course, right? It's a thought that develops and turns into an action. But those thoughts come also based on your belief and value system. So if you don't know what it is that you value or you believe, you're going to drift, or you're going to be influenced, you're going to be persuaded. And so for me, I spent some time there on knowing, okay, well, what are my values and what's important to me? Some of those things, like I know I value fun, creativity, authenticity, personal accountability, responsibility. And so those are kind of like my checklist in terms of when I'm making decisions, what am I prioritizing? I'm like, hey, is it fun? Is it creative? Is it responsible? Is it growing me in a positive direction?
Yeah.
Because if it's not, well, then it's not because I'm saying, hey, that's not what I want. I'm allowing my values to tell me, like, Jerry, that's not what you want in your life. That's not important to you. That's not the people you want to hang around. And I'll tell you this, I mean, I'm definitely one of those people that has broken through a large amount of people pleasing. And the thing is, when I know how to prioritize what people are important in my life, my family, my friends, it's not just saying friends, all my Facebook friends, the 7,000 connections I have there, but I'm saying, hey, who's in alignment with me and the things that I value? And so that's kind of the lens that I look through now. Is I look through my values, because I know, again, if I am not determining that, then somebody else or somebody or something is. Right? And I've drifted too much in life to let other people or other things make decisions for me, and not prioritize it. So that's the way I look at it. The other thing is, I start prioritizing and I'm just saying, hey, what is not only urgent, but what's important? Because not everything that is urgent that is important, and vice versa. Not everything that's important is urgent. If it falls in that category, like urgent and important, it's going to go to the top of my list. Like right now, my daughter is graduating high school in a couple months. We got some very urgent, important things that need to happen, that we don't take care of them now, they're going to be detrimental.
Yeah.
And so I'm making sure to do that. And I'm also making myself urgent and important in all of that as well. So
100,
That's
man.
what's up.
Boom.
Yeah.
Heck
Yeah.
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 Well, last question of the day, guys. If you had a wrestling name for WrestleMania week this week, if you had a wrestling name, what would it be?
My wrestling name would be Texican Mexican.
The Texican Mexican.
The Texican Mexican. Soak it up, baby.
So mine would be Big John Stud. Even though I know there was a Big John Stud back
Well,
then,
that's a Big John Stud.
I'd be Big John Stud 2.0.
Big Johnny Stud.
Yes.
Big Johnny Stud.
Big Johnny March Stud or something.
That's
What
right.
about you, Jerry?
I would revive one of my old freestyle rap names.
Oh
bro.
shit!
Uh-oh.
What was that?
So, back in the day, if you knew Jerry Jer,
Jerry Jer.
my freestyle name was Two Licks.
Too
Hey, that
Hey.
sounds like the conjoined twins.
Damn.
Hey, so here was the thing when it came to freestyle. I say, hey, why do they call you Two Licks? Because 2 licks is all it takes.
Hey.
He's a PM.
That's what
Hey,
she said.
Dude, I tell you what, my dancing name back in the day was Papa Lock. So I might bring that one back to Papa Lock yes.
Papa la papi.
Papa Lock B2B,
Papa Lock,
baby.
Hey, I want to highlight this
Born
shirt
to
here.
break.
I was about to say
Vintage
that was another thing I wanted to talk about. How did y'all
Johnny
show
and
up
Jesse
wearing
shopping.
vintage shirts?
Hey, Johnny and Jesse shopping at the same Etsy site.
The flea market.
Fully guy. Hell yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get out of here, man. It's been awesome. I think we're gonna definitely come back next week. Somebody want to close us out?
Yeah, thanks for everybody for watching. You guys are watching us. It's always a pleasure coming on here with these three other gentlemen.
The
You guys
Jays.
bring it. You guys are
Four,
continued
baby.
bringing
Let's
it
go.
here at Downtown Social and beyond. You guys are the best, man. J-Rock, we love you. And everybody out there, you are now unplugged from Social Plug Media and the Social Plug Podcast, where we connect you to level up. Reach out to us at socialplugmedia.net, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and beyond. And you can reach Jesse and J-Rock on their OnlyFans page as well.
Oh, only puppies.
Also on Grindr.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, much love, y'all.
All right, y'all. See ya.